The criminalization of laziness has a very long history, and it's something that interested us as well as we were doing this research. And so we went back looking at, starting from the 16th century, the idea of the workhouse or prisons that were made to forcefully bring people to work, force them into a program of economic and personal reform, and looking at who these people were. These people were often the poor. They were also political people who were dissenting politically, so troublemakers. And we looked at this history of the criminalization of laziness and also how the law was used in a way to legitimize taking certain people off the map.
So what we did was we did quite a large search through various sources, whether it's the internet or scholarly journals and historical sources as well, to find different attitudes that pop up towards work and then to map them according to criteria. So for example, we could consider a moocher, somebody who always tries to get something for nothing, or somebody who marinates in bed, or somebody who's always having motivational issues at the office.
And we were trying to focus on positions that, from a different point of view, can almost be seen as positions of resistance. So that these positions that we're mapping are actually a large range of possibilities of resisting to a certain demand to conform one's life to work and to the availability for work and to embrace work as a value. So from one perspective, they can be seen as parasites, and from another perspective, they can be seen as articulating maybe a kind of new ethic of freedom. The form of the Cartesian space is reflected in both pieces, that it is like one of the primary visual tools for the mapping of economy as it is defined by economists today. The piece is titled The Prophet, and how we came about this title is that we were thinking about the prophet as a person who addresses the destiny and often the moral life of a whole people. And we were thinking about like economists being somehow the prophet of contemporary societies. And then we were thinking about, well, what is the language of the prophet? It's the prophecy. And these models, in a kind of poetic way, can be like seen as prophecies.
I think that the example you gave of not being able to pay your mortgage, on the one hand, that is the consequence often of very concrete decisions made by people in charge once they have been briefed by economists. Economists will then use this language to sort of mystify those decisions to the extent that they'll present it as if it was a necessity, as if there were economic forces greater than everybody that made it such that that would happen, that people would no longer be able to pay their mortgage. And so these graphs are used as much to communicate economic reality as much as to mystify where this economic reality comes from. Does it come from above, from the prophecies that are greater than individual choices, that we cannot change these prophecies because those are the economic laws? Or are they the consequence of real political decisions based on interests?